thank you for tuning in to Wednesday's edition of Quick Morning. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's get started first up with all the top stories that we're tracking in this edition. Prime Minister Modi will visit Gujarat today to participate in Rashtriya Ekta Divas celebrations. He will inaugurate and lay foundation stone for various development projects worth over 280 crore rupees in Kavadia. These projects aim to enhance the tourist experience, improve accessibility and support sustainability initiatives in this area. In fact, during the visit, the Prime Minister will also address the officer trainees on the 99th Common Foundation course. The theme for this year's program is Roadmap for Atmanirbhar and Viksit Bharat, unquote. The 99th Common Foundation Day RM 6.0 includes 653 officer trainees and these from across 16 civil services of India and 3 civil services of Bhutan. In fact, on 31st of October, Prime Minister Modi will offer tribute at the Statue of Unity, followed by Rashtriya Ekta Divas celebrations. The Ekta Divas parade will feature 16 marching contingents from 9 states, 4 Central Armed Police Forces, the NCC and marching band as well. Former Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik has officially submitted his nomination papers as a NCP candidate for the Mankhurd-Shivaji Nagar Assembly constituency. This decision has sparked controversy within the Mahayuti alliance, with the BJP announcing it will not support Nawab Malik's candidacy. Nawab Malik, who was arrested in 2022 in connection with the case involving Dawood Ibrahim, was granted bail on medical grounds in the month of July. BJP's leader Ashish Shelar stated that they will not accept giving a ticket to someone linked to underworld Don Dawood Ibrahim. He further emphasized the party's intent to actively oppose Nawab Malik. The Shiv Sena has also declared its own candidate, pledging to defeat Nawab Malik. In fact, despite Nawab Malik's nomination, the BJP's official position remains unclear. Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis mentioned that he is unaware of any official developments regarding Nawab Malik's candidacy. As the election approaches, tensions within the Mahayuti camp has only been growing and is likely to impact the political landscape in the state of Maharashtra.
शिवाजी नगर विधानसभा क्षेत्र से नेशनलिस्ट कांग्रेस पार्टी का नामांकन भरा था। साथ ही में अपक्ष भी नामांकन दाखिल किया था और समय पे पार्टी की तरफ से एबी फॉर्म जमा कराया गया 2/55 को और अब मैं चुनाव नेशनलिस्ट कांग्रेस पार्टी की तरफ से लड़ूंगा।
A fire at a temple in Kasargod left 152 people injured when improperly stored firecrackers exploded. In fact, eyewitnesses reported a chaotic scene as spectators, including women and children, fled after the explosion. The district collector confirmed that many of the seriously injured suffered 80% burns, with 21 people currently in intensive care. Kasargod district police chief announced a special investigation team to probe the accident. The police have even registered a case under the Explosive Substances Act and various sections of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the BNS. 8 individuals have also been booked, which these officials are linked to the temple authorities, including 4 who are in custody for negligence and lack of legal submission preparation for the fireworks. Rather, the permission for the fireworks. In fact, the police attributed the failure to maintain distance, safety distance and inadequate precautions at the event.
Yesterday, what we have realized is that they were bursting crackers. One of the crackers has bursted and fallen on the room where crackers were stored. So that is where the explosion has happened. And since people were sitting very close to the room where storage was done, that is how many people have gotten injured. That is what we have understood till now.
Security forces have neutralized 3 terrorists in an encounter in Akhnur following an attack on an army convoy. Rather than an army ambulance, the operation was led by the Indian Army's White Knight Corps, who stated in an official announcement that their relentless operations and tactical excellence have resulted in the elimination of 3 terrorists. The encounter also led to recovery of warlike stores from the site. Unfortunately, a Belgian Malinois dog named Phantom from the Indian Army's Canine Unit made the supreme sacrifice. He was killed in action while helping security forces advance towards the enemy position. In fact, according to security forces, the terrorists fired on an army ambulance, prompting immediate retaliation. The area was swiftly sealed off, and a coordinated search operation was initiated by the Jammu and Kashmir Police and Indian Army Security Forces. 10 people died and more than 36 passengers were injured after a bus crashed into a wing wall of a flyover in Rajasthan's Sikar district on Tuesday. The injured have been admitted to a government hospital for treatment. The private bus was coming from Salasar and was en route Lakshman Nagar. According to police statement, the incident took place in Lakshmangarh around 2 p.m. when the bus lost control and collided with a culvert. No definite cause for the accident has been determined yet, though an investigation has begun.
12 व्यक्तियों के मरने की सूचना है। बाकी जो घायल हैं उनको कुछ को जयपुर रेफर किया गया है, बाकी एसके हॉस्पिटल में उनका सबका इलाज चल रहा है। डॉक्टर्स की टीम लगी हुई है, प्रशासन की तरफ से सारी व्यवस्थाएं मुफीद हैं। लोकल सवारियां हैं ज़्यादातर, बस भी एक रूट परमिट की बस थी, तो सभी सवारियां लोकल हैं। उनका आइडेंटिफाई करके और उनके परिजनों को सूचित किया जा रहा है।
The Telangana government will launch its socioeconomic and caste survey on 6th of November. The survey will start on 4th or 5th of November and conclude by 30th of November. In fact, following a decision made at a meeting that was held by CM Revant Reddy very recently, the deadline for the submission is for the data is 9th of December. The survey aims to inform policies and uplift marginalized communities, which the initiative that aligns with Congress leader Rahul Gandhi's pledge to conduct caste surveys statewide and nationally as well. According to the government, 80,000 employees will be involved in conducting the survey and will receive appropriate training for it. The Telangana Commission for Backward Classes on Monday also kicked off its public hearings to receive representations from interested parties. A thick layer of smog blanketed the national capital on Tuesday, with parts of the national capital recording very poor air quality. The AQI has surpassed 300 in most areas. BJP chief Virender Sachdeva has criticized the AAP government, claiming that they deflect blame to Haryana and Uttar Pradesh despite evidence showing stubble burning incidents there. He further argued that if AAP was serious about tackling pollution, they would engage in discussions and not avoid them. BJP MP Basuri Swaraj also echoed these sentiments, emphasizing AAP's unfulfilled promises to address stubble burning menace during the Punjab elections. She even questioned the lack of coordination and action plans between Delhi and Punjab in combating air pollution in the national capital. And time to take a look at the business stories that we are tracking in Wednesday's edition of Quick Morning. Let's get started. The Telecom Regulatory Authority of India aims to finalize updated and stricter regulations in spam calls and messages by January. TRAI will draft and circulate a consultation paper regarding the regulatory framework for fire telemarketers. The TRAI chief also mentioned that the measures implemented over the past few months have led to a notable improvement in the system, but emphasized that more needs to be done. The consultation paper was released at the end of August, and the feedback received will be analyzed, followed by open house discussions. This aims to ensure that only safe and approved links can get through the SMS, so consumers are shielded from harmful or fake websites or other online threats. TRAI also pointed out that despite punitive actions, unsolicited calls from 10-digit mobile numbers continue to annoy and harass customers. GST Network on Tuesday said that beginning early next year, GST taxpayers will not be able to file monthly and annual GST returns after 3 years of the original filing due date. In fact, in an advisory, Goods and Services Network said that GST outward supply returns, beside returns related to payment of liability and annual returns, will now become time-barred after the expiry of a period of 3 years from the due date. GSTN also noted that the said changes are going to be implemented in the GST portal from early next year. Hence, the taxpayers are advised to reconcile their records and file the GST returns as soon as possible. If not filed till now, businesses are advised to proactively audit their filing history and address any outstanding returns within the remaining window. This action will prevent future compliance issues and penalties that may arise once the portal enforces the 3-year limit. The government has instructed companies to lower the prices of 3 anti-cancer drugs to ensure that consumers benefit from the exemption of customs duty and the reduction in GST. This directive follows the announcement in the Union Budget for 2024-2025, which exempted these 3 anti-cancer medications from customs duty in alignment with the government's commitment to making medications more affordable. The National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority has issued a memorandum that directs manufacturers to reduce the MRP of the medicine. Manufacturers are required in this case to provide a price list or supplementary price list to dealers, state drug controllers and the government, detailing the changes, and must submit information regarding these price adjustments to the NPPA as well. The US engine manufacturer General Electric has faced penalties from the government due to repeated delays in supplying engines for the light combat aircraft Tejas aircraft under development by the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is crucial for Indian Air Force modernization plans originally scheduled to be received in the month of March. This year, the engine delay now pushes back IAF's Tejas schedule. Prime Minister Modi and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh flagged the delays when they met GE officials very recently during their US visit. According to reports, GE claimed to begin supplying them by March or April next year. The dispute, in fact, arises post the August 2021 contract between GE and HAL, under which the US engine maker was required to commence delivery of 99 engines last year to the 83 Tejas units. Prime Minister Modi has announced expansion of the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana on Tuesday now, providing coverage to all senior citizens aged 70 and above. This scheme aims to offer up to 5 lakh rupees in treatment for each individual, ensuring seniors receive comprehensive health support. The expansion grants additional health coverage without requiring them to share their insurance limit with other family members. The scheme is expected to benefit close to 6 crore senior citizens across India, with a projected reach of approximately 4.5 crore households. Eligible individuals simply need to complete an eKYC verification to update their Ayushman card, activating the new benefit nearly half of the years. The scheme beneficiaries are women, highlighting its broad reach and importance for vulnerable sections of the population. Bharti Airtel MD Gopal Mittal on Monday battled for industry-wide tariff hike, arguing that returns on capital employed (ROCE) in the sector continue to lag in the country. In the past 2 years or so, telecom operators in India have hiked tariff twice by cumulative 40%. Bharti Airtel even claimed that it continues to deliver industry-leading average revenue per user growth. ARPU for this quarter stood at 233 as compared to 203 in the same quarter of last year. And time to take a look at international stories that we are tracking with key focus on the widening conflict in West Asia. The US Department has issued a statement saying that it is deeply troubled after the passage of 2 laws by Israeli parliament that could prevent the UN from providing aid and relief material to war torn Gaza region. The law bans the agency UNRWA from operating and cut all ties between the agency and the Israeli government. It's the culmination of a long-running campaign against the agency, which Israel says it contends, which has been infiltrated by Hamas. The US State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said that this development poses risk for millions of Palestinians who rely on UNRWA for essential services including healthcare and primary and secondary education. Israel has carried out more airstrikes and waged a bigger ground operation in northern Gaza region in recent weeks, saying that it is focused on rooting out Hamas terrorists that have regrouped after more than a year of the war between Israel and Hamas.
We are deeply troubled by this legislation. It could shutter UNRWA operations in the West Bank, in Gaza, in East Jerusalem. It poses risks for millions of Palestinians who rely on UNRWA for essential services, including healthcare and primary and secondary education. UNRWA, of course, plays a critical role in providing services to Palestinians in Gaza, the West Bank, and throughout the wider region, and particularly in Gaza. They play a role right now that at least today cannot be filled by anyone else. They are a key partner in delivering food, water, and other humanitarian assistance to civilians in Gaza that wouldn't have anyone else to get it from if UNRWA were to go away.
The United Nations has expressed concerns over Israeli new legislation's new spokesperson saying that the two laws that could hinder UNRWA's essential work in the Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem. The United Nations has emphasized that the UNRWA is the principal provider of assistance for Palestinian refugees in the Gaza conflict zone. There is no alternative to the organization. He also called on, the UN spokesperson called on Israel to connect to consistently and to maintain under the to maintain obligations under the UN Charter and its other obligations under international law system, which includes international humanitarian law and those concerning the privileges and immunities of the United Nations.
The Secretary General emphasized that UNRWA is the principal means by which essential assistance is supplied to Palestine refugees in the occupied Palestinian territory. There is no alternative to UNRWA. He calls on Israel to act consistently with its obligations under the Charter of the UN and its other obligations under international law, including international humanitarian law, and those concerning the privileges and immunities of the United Nations. National legislation cannot override or alter those obligations. He is bringing this matter to the attention of the General Assembly and will keep the Assembly closely informed on the situation as it develops.
US President Joe Biden has awarded $3 billion to boost climate-friendly equipment and port infrastructure at seaports across the United States, which include in Baltimore, where a deadly bridge collapsed that killed 6 construction workers and disrupted maritime traffic for months this year. President Biden even visited Baltimore's main port on Tuesday to announce the billion-dollar grants. The officials say that this will improve and electrify port infrastructure at 55 sites nationwide with a major goal of reducing pollution and combating climate crisis.
This also includes a $447 million for the Port of Baltimore to upgrade its cargo equipment, infrastructure, and power grid. Folks, ports are the linchpin to America's supply chain. They keep goods moving, keep the economy strong. They employ over 100,000 union workers, from Teamsters to longshoremen. But for too long, they've run on fossil fuels and aging infrastructure, putting workers at risk and exposing nearby communities to dangerous pollution. Studies show more childhood asthma, lung disease, and heart disease and cancer in folks who live close to ports. This is about environmental justice.
In other news, Finland's president has said that North Korea has been dispatching the troops to Russia. That represents an escalation of the Russia-Ukraine war that goes against China's own stated position on the conflict. The remarks come after meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing. The visit was aimed to discuss the war, international trade and other issues. Just a day prior, the United States had said that North Korea had sent 10,000 troops to Russia, where they are believed to be headed for the Kursk border region, where Ukrainian troops have seized Russian territory. Finland, note, is one of the most active European providers of military and civilian aid to Ukraine and joined NATO last year.
North Korean activity right now, both in terms of arms exports and especially in terms of sending troops to Russia, is escalation, expansion, and provocation. So we had a good discussion about this. My own analysis this is my analysis, not the words of the president, is that for China, the Chinese-North Korean relationship is not very comfortable at the moment. Because as a matter of fact, it can lead to escalation.
In other news that you're tracking, this is from Spain, where heavy rains have resulted in widespread flooding across vast regions of eastern Spain. At least 3 people have been reported missing in the rains in Valencia region. Emergency services rescued a truck driver stuck in flood waters. Rains even resulted in derailment of one high-speed train near Alora that resulted in no injuries or casualties. Civil Guard drivers searched for the missing near the region, while a helicopter joined in the search operation. Welcome back. Let's now take a look at sports stories that we're tracking in Wednesday's edition of Quick Morning. Delhi Seema Harshit Rana was called up to the India squad for the third test against New Zealand in Mumbai. As per reports, the pacer is in all probability to make his debut as well. India's off-spinner Deepti Sharma has climbed to a career-high second position in the latest ICC Women's ODI rankings. For the bowlers, this promotion comes as a reward for her recent impressive form, showcasing her skill and consistency on the field. Madhya Pradesh's Rajat Patidar delivered an explosive innings in the Ranji Trophy, scoring the fifth fastest century in just 68 balls against Haryana. His 13th first-class century helped overturn a first innings deficit, injecting life into his domestic season after a difficult start with a bat. The player draft for the inaugural Lanka T10 Super League will take place on 10th of November in Colombo. The tournament is scheduled from 12th of December till the 22nd. That would feature 6 franchisee teams and showcase local and international players in cricket's fastest format. Australian wicketkeeper batter Matthew Wade has announced his retirement from international cricket and will step into an assistant coaching role with the national side. Kane Williamson will not travel to India for the third test in Mumbai to ensure he is fit for the upcoming 3-test series against England. For the unversed, New Zealand have already taken an unassailable 2-0 lead in the series. Stefanos forced his way into the second round of the Paris Masters after defeating Roberto Carballes Baena of Spain in ATP 1000 event opener. Left-arm spinner Harsh Dubey's 6-wicket burst propelled Vidarbha to a massive 266-run win over Uttarakhand on the fourth and final day of their Ranji Trophy match. Premier doubles player Rohan Bopanna and his Australian partner Matthew Ebden have clinched a spot in the prestigious season-ending ATP finals, marking the Indians' fourth appearance in the tournament. And time to take a look at all that's making news from the world of glitz and glamour. Let's get started. As the release data is nearing, makers of Kartik Aaryan and Vidya Balan's Starer are leaving no stone unturned to keep the audience hooked in the battle between Bhool Bhulaiya 3 and Singham Again. Anis Bazmi's directorial has to state has already sold 29,000 tickets across 1,800 shows in India. The opening day collection at the box office now stands at 75.62 lakh rupees. Delhi NCR is currently leading the chart with 12.23 lakh, followed by Mumbai at 10.16 lakh rupees. In other entertainment stories that we're tracking, Bollywood star Akshay Kumar has joined the initiative to feed monkey population in Ayodhya. Akshay not only donated 1 crore to feed the monkeys in Ayodhya ahead of Diwali, but also paid tribute to his parents and father-in-law, late veteran star Rajesh Khanna, by having their names written on the feeding van. This initiative is spearheaded by Ajneya Seva Trust under the guidance of Jagat Guru Swami Maharaj. Meanwhile, on the acting front, Akshay will be seen sharing screen space with Ajay Devgan, Ranveer Singh and Tiger Shroff, Deepika Padukone and Kareena Kapoor in Singham Again. Dwayne Johnson's starrer Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle 3 will reportedly be released on 11th of December 2026. Along with Johnson, the film stars Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Karen Gillan, who are teaming up for the highly anticipated Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle 3. In an interview with Virgin Radio in 2022, Johnson had hinted that Jumanji 3 will be the last installment of this of the movie. The superstar said that Jake has a very, very special, cool idea for Jumanji, which could be the finale. Actor Johnson was last seen in Fast X. He's had major projects such as Moana 2 and The Smashing Machine in the pipeline. Rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine was arrested in New York City on Tuesday for alleged parole violations that were set when he was sentenced several years ago to 2 years in prison in a racketeering case. Tekashi was set to appear on Tuesday afternoon before the federal judge who sentenced him in December 2019. Tekashi's sentencing came after he pleaded guilty in 2019 to charges accusing him of joining and directing violence by the gang known as 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods, unquote. Terry Gard, the quirky comedy actor who rose from background dancer in Elvis Presley's movie to co-star of Young Frankenstein and Tootsie, has died at the age of 79. Gard died of multiple sclerosis, surrounded by family and friends. Gard battled other health problems in recent years, underwent an operation in January 2007 and repair and for other medical treatment. She was 16 when she joined the road company of West Side Story in Los Angeles, and in 1963 she began appearing in bit parts in films. She also appeared in the chorus of 9 Presley's films, including Viva Las Vegas, Rostabout and Clambake. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition. Stay tuned for all the breaking news after we come back after this very short break.